Yo, what's up guys? It's your boy Annie Z with What If Naruto Was Abandoned and Betrayed, the full movie. So guys, we last left off after the second round of the tuning exams. A month from now will be the finals of the tuning exams. We now see at the hospital Naruto yelling at Kakashi. Hey Kakashi sensei, Naruto yelled. Naruto, not so loud, I'm not deaf, I can hear you, Kakashi says, not even looking up from his Icha book. Anyways, I need you to help train me. I don't have any taijutsu, but Naruto is cut off. Sorry Naruto, work on some chakra control. I have to train Sasuke who will actually put my training to good use, Kakashi says. So that's how it is, scum, Naruto says. Naruto, you're weak. You can't even do the simplest of summoning with your control. You have the worst control in the village. Even a civilian has better control than you. My talent will be wasted on a disgrace like you. So I got a teacher for you. That one that will be better for you. His name is Ebisu, Kakashi says. Konohamaru's teacher? You're sabotaging me like everyone else, Naruto says, walking away. But Spat turned around the corner when he saw Ebisu walking up to Kakashi, spying on the conversation that Kakashi would have after that. Kakashi thought Naruto left because he wasn't really reading for chakra, and he thought that Naruto was just a little kid that would just run away because of everything that he knows. Kakashi then met Ebisu and explained everything. Kakashi, you know I don't like the demon kid, but you're making a mistake by not training the boy. I mean, he's the Jinchuriki, our weapon. Why do you think Lord Third ordered Konohamaru to be his friend? To ensure his loyalty to the village, Ebisu says. Why do you think I make a mistake? He is the mistake. He's got no talent. The demon is a disgrace to his parents and will never live up to them. I hate the fact that he had to be born. If it wasn't for him, his parents would be alive. His parents were my adopted mum and dad, Minato and Krishna. But no, this disgrace had to be born and take them away from me. His parents should have known that they only needed me as the child and not give birth to the demon. Then they could have lived, Kakashi says in jealousy. Is that how it is, so you ugly bastard? My parents would hate you, Naruto says, revealing himself as he heard everything. He heard, oh well, at least I don't have to pretend to be nice to him now, Kakashi says. As Naruto was running away, he was so caught up in his anger that he didn't see ahead. He then bumped into someone. When he looked up, he saw that it was the ugly pink-haired gorilla known as Sakura. You baka, how dare you run into someone as beautiful as me, she says. Idiot, watch where you're going, Ino says. Naruto gets up and walks away, but is stopped. Baka, get on your knees and apologize to me like the little bitch boy you are, the pink-haired whore says, as she tries to punch Naruto. However, Naruto had enough of Sakura. He caught the punch and snapped her wrist. Sakura looked up to see Naruto's eyes red. You ugly whore, I've had enough. Now I will put you in your place, you disgrace to pink hairs, Naruto says, as he started to punch her repeatedly in the forehead, and then he kicked in between her legs as she dropped to the floor as he repetitively kicked her in the stomach. Naruto, you idiot, stop, you're gonna kill her, Ino says, lunging at Naruto trying to take hold of him, but Naruto wasn't having any of it. He bit slapped the whore as he kicked her in the stomach, sending her flying, knocking her out, but not before she saw a silhouette of the Nine Tails. After a bit, Naruto pulled out the kunai and then sliced a bald patch into Sakura's hair and left, but not before muttering, there, you look at least more beautiful now. When Naruto reached the location he was going to, which was the library, he was stopped by the librarian, who says the demons aren't allowed. Naruto's eyes started to glow red as he pinned her to the wall and mercilessly beat her. So you're Horano's mother. I enjoyed beating her like I did you Horano. Really need to learn your place, Naruto says, as he kneed her in the guts and proceeded to walk to the shinobi section of the library. Some shinobi tried to stop him, but Naruto knocked them out as he was in his Nine Tails cloak form. Naruto stole a sealing scroll from one of the shinobis he knocked out and then began to seal the whole library into the scroll, as he proceeded to go to Hiruzen's office, where he used sexy jutsu to once again knock out Hiruzen. After searching, he found the scroll of sealings and replaced it with a fake version. He then waited for Hiruzen to wake up, where he pretended to be nice and asked for training, but Hiruzen denied him, so he left the office, not even alerting Hiruzen a little bit. When Hiruzen asked why he used sexy jutsu, he said he wanted to test if his GG had gotten any immunity to it, but that was far from the truth. Naruto then went far away from the Leaf Village as he started to use shadow clones to learn everything in the books and the scroll because he had read the scroll and found out the clone's secret. However, he did find out about Minato and Krishna, who left the letter to them which Hiruzen put in the scroll. He found out about Giant Tsunade abandoning him for drinking and for research. He found out that he had the full Nine Tails in him, not half as everyone thought. Naruto also learned that the leaf purposely let Whirlpool die so they can have the Nine Tails Jinchuriki and also all of the sealing techniques Whirlpool had, and not to forget the land of Whirlpool itself. Naruto learned how Hiruzen had planned attacks on Naruto and then would save Naruto so that Hiruzen could be a role model that Naruto would look up to and would accept any commands Hiruzen gave him. He also learned that since Naruto was half Uzumaki and from a different village, he could never become Hokage. He also learned that everybody in the village hated him, including Hinata. She was just ordered by Hisashi to like him or pretend to like him so that she can keep him loyal to the village. Naruto's mind started to break even further as he read all the things that went wrong was planned by Hiruzen and the council itself. He learned the reason why Hinata claimed to love him but never helped him was because she was ordered to love him. And then that's when Naruto realized that everybody in this village is a fake, as his eyes turned red and his anger began to rise and rise as he was knocked out. When he got knocked out, he came face to face with the Nine Tails himself. The Nine Tails tried to claw him, but Naruto stayed there as the claw stopped inches away. So my warden returns, the Nine Tails says. So Fox, tell me what's your name. I want your name, not your title, Naruto says. My name is something you are truly unworthy of knowing, Nine Tails says. Then why did you summon me? I didn't, it was him, Kurama says. When Naruto saw a black silhouette of himself. Who are you? Naruto yelled. The silhouette made its way to Naruto. So you finally decided to embrace me, it said in Naruto's voice as it showed itself. Naruto saw a red-eyed version of himself. I'm your hatred, your dark half. You can call me Yami Naruto. Yami Naruto explained how the reason why they were half was because of his will to protect the village, but now that his will had been completely destroyed, they were going to meet together and become one once again. Finally, I'm full, Naruto says in a dark tone. And suddenly a golden light comes and a man with brown hair wearing white robes is right in front of Naruto. And who the fuck are you? Naruto says. This is my mindscape, some sort of meeting area for some random people, Naruto says, getting annoyed. My name is Ashura Otosuki, young one, and I'm afraid I cannot let you leave with your hatred in you. I have always taken away my reincarnation's hatred so that they can better the world, and you have somehow managed to become one with your hatred. I cannot let you leave like that, Naruto Uzumaki, Ashura says. I will leave, fool. I won't be halved. I won't be an idiotic, forgiving moron like you, Naruto yells. The world is at stake here, Ashura yells. I don't care, Naruto yells. I'm done being a puppet. I will never be a puppet for you, for the village, and not for the world. I will be my own man and nobody will stop me, not even you, not Hiruzen, not anyone. Anyone who dares to get in my way will die, Naruto says, insanely, as Ashura lunges at Naruto, but before he could, golden chakra chains, enhanced by Nine Tails chakra, wrap around him, pulling him into the seal. You might be wondering how, but I learned from the Mindscape scroll that I have complete control over my own Mindscape. The Yamanakas scrolls were really useful, you see, so I used it to create the Uzumaki sealing chains, but these ones are unbreakable, so enjoy me using your chakra, Naruto says, as Ashura was pulled right into the seal and the seal started to siphon Ashura's chakra, literally giving Naruto sage powers. Naruto then wakes up. He then remembers that Kakashi says he won't be able to do even the simplest of summons. I'll prove him wrong, Naruto says, as he learns the hand seals for summoning. We now see Jiraiya walking towards Naruto's chakra. He was ordered to bring Naruto back for snapping and killing some villagers, or not killing some villagers, knocking them out, and to train him to be an obedient weapon. He saw Naruto doing some hand sounds. As he was shocked, he tried to run to stop Naruto. That idiot never had a freaking summoning contract, and he was trying to do a summoning jutsu with Naruto. After remembering his memories, Naruto did some hand signs he saw in the books, which was the summoning books. As he did some hand signs and slammed the floor, but he was not counting on not having a summoning contract, and the seal that Orochimaru had placed on his seal, which was ruining his chakra control. As a huge explosion was heard and Naruto was sent out of the elemental nations. We now see Naruto opening his eyes as he was plugged up to a heart rate monitor. He then saw a pink-haired girl. As the pink-haired girl came closer, he saw her pink eyes and her nice beautiful smile. "Who are you?" Naruto asked. "My name is Yuno, Gasai. I found you inside the crater outside my house. What happened?" she asked. Naruto thought but realized he had no memories. He couldn't remember anything, only that he hated a village hidden in a leaf. "I don't remember," he says, as she pulled out his ninja ID card. "Well, it says here your name's Naruto Uzumaki. Maybe it's due to the concussions you don't have your memories. You should get them back in time. And I'm sorry for just looking at your things, but I really needed to find some ID so I can submit you into the hospital," she said, smiling at him. "Oh, thank you then. Nice to meet you. My name is Naruto Uzumaki." "Oh wait, you already knew that," Naruto said as she giggled at Naruto's confusion. "Senpai is really cute," she thought to herself. She smiled and stared at Naruto longingly. "Well then, do you have a place to stay?" she asks. "Not at the moment," he says, as she thought that her senpai cannot stay out alone. "I will let senpai stay with me, and then senpai will be mine." "Well, wouldn't you like to stay with me?" she asked, smiling. "I couldn't possibly," Naruto was about to say, as Yuno thought, "Please don't deny me. We could be together, like we were destined." "Oh, I don't really mind at all. I would be delighted if you were to stay at my house. I do get lonely living by myself, ever since my parents died," she said with a sad face as Naruto hugged her. "Nobody deserves to be alone. Of course I would live and stay with you," Naruto says, remembering his past life without parents. At least that's what he thought that he had, because he never remembered his past life in the Leaf Village, only the fact that he never had parents and that he was always lonely. It was like he couldn't mentally repress those memories of him being lonely. As he quietly muttered, "I will protect you," hoping Yuno didn't hear, but she did, which made her blush. "Like really cares for me," she thought. For the next 4 months, they lived together, gaining a inseparable bond. But one day, an assassin that was hired by someone that hated the Gasai family had come to attack Yuno. She was inches away from the blade, as time froze around Naruto, and the world went black before he was in front of a cage in the middle of the forest. The reason why it was a forest instead of a sewer was because Naruto was having a good life and he doesn't have memories of the Leaf Village, so his brain is a dump. As then he saw a giant fox. "So, my jailer has returned to greet me, but you do not know who I am. I am the Nine-Tails, and I have a deal for you. Rip a bit of the seal, allow me access to your senses, and I will give you the power to stop her from being assassinated." Nine-Tails said. He didn't mind the boy now, as the boy wasn't supporting that stupid Leaf Village and wasn't a whiny brat. In fact, he was a perfectly perfectly psychotic man with a equally a psychotic girlfriend. Somehow he had magically lost his hatred towards the boy, and it was all being redirected to the Leaf Village by some outside force ever since Naruto did that summoning failure. "I accept your terms," Naruto says, ripping a bit of the seal off as he felt red chakra rush into him as his vision turned black and he was once again in front of the assassin. Naruto lunges towards the assassin with red energy cloak surrounding him, and then he impaled the assassin with a fox claw with great speed that nobody could see him. Only Yuno could somehow see him. As Yuno ran over to Naruto and hugged him. As Naruto hugged her back, seeing her crying, she was just a few steps away from the blade. We now see Naruto and Yuno sleeping with each other, cuddling. As they woke up, they realized they wasn't in their house, but on a pedestal where they saw silhouettes of each other along with 11 other people. The being that summoned them told them that he was God, and he had started a survival game where the winner would become God and the losers are killed. However, he did state that you could team up with one other person if you hold them there, since he isn't unfair. He also told them that they will have diaries that will show them the future events of what's to come, and they have to use this to be the last ones or one to survive. He then asked if any of them wanted to team up. Only 2 pairs put their hand up. The first pair was 7th and 6th, while the second pair was 1st and 2nd. First and second were Naruto and Yuno, as the god wished them good luck and they went off. Kurama then felt it was a good idea to give Naruto back his elemental nation memories so that Naruto could survive. So Kurama channeled his chakra into the block that was blocking Naruto's memories as the block was destroyed, and Naruto's memories came surging into him as Naruto's rage spiked. Yuno asked what was happening as Naruto told everything that happened as she kissed him on the lips and said, "Those who hurt my senpai shall pay. I shall torture them until they wish to kill themselves, and then I will send them to hell where they will die and be tortured over and over again. We will win this game, senpai, and then we will make them pay," she said with a yandere look on her face. "We shall make them pay," Naruto said insanely. "Senpai called me his," Yuno says, gushing and blushing. So over the past year, Naruto used his Nine-Tails power to win the game, but also had help from Yuno, who was like a pro killer for some reason. They won the game and they both became god and goddess of space and time, taking Dios' throne. Naruto then looked for the elemental nations as he realized that they weren't even on a different planet or different world. It was just a small island, a small chunk of the world that was sealed away by the Sage of Six Paths to protect the other humans that never wield chakra. But both he and Yuno can enter as they were gods. I've noticed only a few seconds that went by since I left the elemental nations, as he and Yuno then began to freeze time and started training for 1,000,000,000 years with the powers that they had gained. Naruto had worked on one thing that was of his mortal powers, and that was his wind affinity. He knew that wind could be so dangerous if used right. Back at the Leaf Village, since it was only a few seconds since Naruto left the elemental nations, we now see Jiraiya and Hiruzen in its office. "You mean to tell me a weapon got sent away because he did a summoning without a contract and no chakra control? Who gave him that stupid idea in the first place?" Hiruzen screamed. "The village was without a Jinchuriki." "Look, I'm sorry, Sensei. What else can I do?" Jiraiya says. "Jiraiya, you better hope that Naruto shows up for his match, or make sure to have your manhood removed with a chainsaw." Hiruzen says, thinking about how they could recover power without Naruto. Back with Naruto and Yuno. "So, Leaf bastards, your god has returned and he's fresh out of mercy," Naruto says. Naruto then goes to his mindscape as he meets the Nine-Tails. "I have a deal to make with you, Kurama," Naruto says. So after Naruto and Kurama discussed the deal, Naruto went to his palace with Yuno by his side. As the Shinigami appeared in front of them. "Why have you summoned me? Oh, it's you two, the god and goddess. Is it time to lay lace to this world?" He asked. Not yet. Give them a couple 100 years to see if they can clean this shit up," Naruto says. "Then why have you summoned me?" he says. "You see, in the future, Orochimaru will be using the Edo Tensei to revive a few people. I want you to go there under the pretense of wanting them back. But in actuality, you'll be there to announce my true title as God of Space and Time, as these dirty humans wouldn't believe me if I told them either way. But coming from an actual god, they will have no right to dispute that fact," Naruto says. "If you command that, I will obey," he says. "Good, now leave," Naruto says as he left. After a month had finally passed, which was basically Yuno and Naruto just having fun, going over the elemental nations, enjoying themselves, Yuno headed towards the Chunin exam stage and went over to the Naruto supporter side, where she saw that there was no one, not a single person, not a single soul. She then placed a huge bet on Naruto winning. Most of the civilians looked like she was a retard. Then she heard most of the civilians and shinobis of the Leaf Village saying, "The demon probably knows he can't win, so he probably quit. Can't the demon do one thing right and just come and get himself killed by the Hyuga prodigy?" And much more, as Yuno was getting angry. "How dare they talk about my senpai being weak, and how dare they say my senpai should die? I will kill them," she says. In the Kage boot, Hiruzen was mad at Jiraiya. The weapon hasn't appeared yet, which means he was either dead or he ran away. As Hiruzen heard footsteps, he saw multiple people entering the stand. Welcome, Kazekage, Mizukage, Tsuchikage, Raikage. You all must be tired from your journeys," he says, but was secretly angry. If they were to find out that Leaf had no Jinchuriki, then the Leaf Village was fucked. "There's no need for that, Hokage. I'm just here to see the tuning exams. I want to see what kind of team from your village will be able to beat my village, or be a threat to my village. My village had just ended a civil war, so I would like to attend this event for some relaxation. My people had told me to do so," Mai said, looking at her god. "Mr. Kage-sama, I know you want best for Mist, but you have to Spend some time to yourself to rest too, Chaojuro said. Thank you for your concern, Chaojuro, Mai said, smiling. But still, it must be so hard for you to keep up in your old age, Hokage. Perhaps you should find a successor soon, the Kazekage said. Please don't bury me yet. I can still continue for another 5 years, at least, Hiruzen said. At least you don't have to worry about back problems just yet, Oneki said as he massaged his back, making his granddaughter apply some oil to his back. All according to my senpai's plan. He subtly hinted to the Kage that the Kage should attend the Leaf's training exams in their dreams, Yuno thought. Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, welcome and a heartfelt thanks for gathering here for the training examination, round 3. We now begin the match of the final rounds between the 8 candidates who will advance to tuning if they manage to impress the judges. However, this time round will be different. Only those who manage to impress the Kages, not the council, will graduate to tuning. Hiruzen says, 8, it seems like you're missing 2, said the Kazekage. That's right, I can only see 6 as well, Mai said. Well, these 2 are a little short on time, but hopefully they will make it in time, Hiruzen said, gleaming at Dryer. Please get here already, brat. I don't want to lose my manhood, thought Dryer. Alright, the first round between Neji Hyuga and Naruto Uzumaki. The rest, please go to the waiting room. That kid's gone far, but I guess this will be it for him, said the proctor. Naruto Uzumaki, if you don't come in the next 5 seconds, you'll be disqualified, said the proctor. That idiot probably ran away like the loser he is, said Neji. Hiruzen could only look at Dryer with anger. Since Naruto Uzumaki is not here, the winner is... Boom! Suddenly something hit the ground hard as the Anbu prepared themselves for battle as the smoke cleared to reveal a young Naruto in a black and grey version of his Shippuden outfit with his fists that had dried up blood on them. He also had a katana and his face was dark as if it had like lots of dried blood on it. He had blood red eyes and an insane look on his face as he had fangs on his top teeth. The ground around him was destroyed. Sorry I'm late, there's like traffic, Naruto says, using his excuse from Japan, not realizing that the elemental nations didn't have cars. My senpai is so cool, Naruto thought. Naruto Uzumaki, is that you? The proctor says. Yeah, now let's start this shit, Naruto says. It's time for me to put this Hyuga in his place and show all the rest of the Hyugas the place in the world, Naruto says. As someone in the audience yelled about the demon being overconfident only to lose. Watch closely, Hanabi. You're about to see the skills of the genius Hyuga Neji. Hanabi nodded at that. So you're not gonna run away? Neji asked. From a slave like you? No way. I have my freedom. And by the way, the seal I have on me is more stronger than yours, Naruto says. How dare you? Do you have any last words to say? Neji says. Yeah, I do, but not to you. And they won't be my last words because you're the one that will be ended this match. I have some final words to say to the Hokage, Naruto says. What is it, my boy? Little did Hiruzen know that he and everybody else would have a heart attack from the next few words. After this tuning exam finals, regardless of the results, I will resign from being a ninja of the Leaf Village, Naruto said. Dead silence was heard across the stadium. No mocking, no chattering or anything. Then a loud shout of "What?" as every ninja from the Leaf looked in fear. They had just lost their Jinchuriki. Hiruzen then body flickered towards Naruto. My boy, do you know what you just said? He asked. I know what I said. I wish to quit being a shinobi for the Leaf Village after the finals, Naruto said. But why? Hiruzen asked. Leaf Ninja Rule Book 1. If a ninja wants to quit, he can do so without any authorization as long as he is a genin and gives a notice. I know you would claim that I never gave a notice, so I gave one in front of all of the lords of the nation and the Kages, Naruto said. In the stands, Danzo and elders broke their chair of pure anger. Very well, the notice to leave has been acknowledged, but you must leave the village if you decide to stop being a shinobi. The civilian council head Harano says, that was my plan anyways, you traitors. You were using my clan symbols on your freaking vest, but you let my village fall, Naruto says as he explained what he found out about Leaf letting Whirlpool die. As all of the nation's lords and the Kages looked at Hiruzen and the Leaf in disgust. Hiruzen looked at Naruto, angry. He had just ruined several trades because most people now saw Leaf as scumbags and a nation they don't want to ally with. But Hiruzen then announced that he would be cutting trade from the Leaf. So did other nations. Also, my final act is declaring Whirlpool as an independent country from the Fire Nation. If I am executed in this exam by some angry Leaf shinobi who are angry that I declared independence, I give Whirlpool to Killer Bee and the rest of my kin, the Jinchuriki, Naruto yells, as Hiruzen got angry and went back to the Kage booth. So Neji, you called me a peasant, but I'm a prince to a nation, while you're just a slave to your clan full of degenerates. I mean, look at you. You lot practice incest. Did you know that practicing incest makes you go insane, Naruto says. How dare you mock us? You're just a prince to a dead nation. Your clan got wiped out, while my clan is still standing. Don't stand up to the Hyugas, Naruto, Neji says. You mean tell me not to stand up to ninjutsu the freaks? How dare you make fun of the Uzumaki and the Whirlpool itself? It took down 3 nations, or nearly took down 3 nations, and a sneak attack from our ally, the Leaf Village, and it was still standing. It took all of you lot then launching a second wave for you to take down my clan and my village. Well, it took your strongest clan of the Leaf Village, the Uchihas, only a single member to kill, and the Senju clans killed themselves off by not reproducing, Naruto says, getting pissed off. What? Hyugas like us weren't killed? Why never you mentioned that? Neji said smugly. Well, Neji, I was talking about clans that were a threat to the Uzumaki clan, not jokes like Hyugas, who only need to be stayed far away from, and then we just need to unleash some jutsus to kill you. I mean, your Kaiten is good and all, but if an Uzumaki started launching barrages of jutsus at your Kaiten, you wouldn't survive because an Uzumaki stamina can outlast the Hyugas, Naruto says. Enough. The match starts now, Proctor yells angrily. Neji was angry at Naruto for mocking his clan, so he charges at Naruto with Juken strikes, only for Naruto to block them all. Another weakness in the Hyuga style. If your opponent is faster than you, your style is useless, Naruto says, enraging Neji even more. Naruto then kicks him, sending him flying. Come on, if you're the so-called Hyuga prodigy and I'm the Uzumaki dead last, then that makes an Hyuga prodigy equivalent to that an Uzumaki dead last. Perhaps the Hyuga clan is even more worthless than I thought, Naruto says, making all the Hyugas, including Hinata the ugly whore, get mad. How are you doing this, Naruto yells. Figure that out, Hyuga prodigy. Or is that how Hyuga prodigies work? They get someone else to solve their problems, go like, oh, I'm Hyuga, do my answers for me. Naruto says, mocking Neji even more, making him even more angry. Wow, senpai is amazing. I'll kill that bastard for saying my senpai's clan is weak, Yuno says, switching from happy to a dark and deadly tone. Impossible, he's got to be cheating, was what everybody was saying in the audience, well, apart from Yuno, who was being happy that her senpai was destroying that stupid bastard Neji. This is the weakness to all Hyugas. You think you're all superior to everyone, since Itachi, God bless his soul, killed off the Uchiha clan. But when someone mocks you back, your inferiority complexes kick in. Make it so you can't take an insult. Don't get me wrong, I do respect the Bakugan, but you Hyugas and Uchihas wield it like a dojutsu is a lifeline instead of a tool for you to use. You become so used to it that if you were to ever lose your dojutsus, you wouldn't survive. It's like putting a pet dog who's only ever relied on humans in the wild against a wolf. The wolf will survive while the Hyuga Uchiha dogs will die and lose, Naruto says. How dare you mock us, the strongest clan, you dead lost shit. I will beat you and kill you, Neji says, as Neji charges at Naruto. But Naruto dodges, tripping Neji over. And let's talk about that seal that protects your clansman's eyes. If I was a cloud, I would just capture Hyuga and have them breed some more Hyugas in the village. I mean, the seal doesn't stop that, Naruto says. You idiot, you just exposed the flaw in front of other villages, Neji says. So what, I'm not part of the village anymore, Naruto says. Also, the level of ceiling Hyuga uses can easily be broken, Naruto says as he was looking at Mai's guard, wrong with the Bakugan, at the Kage stand. That boy seems very familiar with survival of the fittest. Is he truly a genin? Lord Hokage asked Oniki. Sarutobi just gritted his teeth. Yes, he is still a genin, but a month ago, his skills are nowhere near this level. That's weird because his stance looks like it's from someone who had just come back from the bloodiest of wars. Look at him, his body prepared to block any type of attacks, even surprised that his hand ready to draw his sword at a moment's notice. That kind of habit is not something a genin will have at all, said A. Not just A, but some other veteran shinobis can see it too, as they realize that this wasn't the Naruto that they knew. You're not playing fair at all, Neji says. Playing fair? Is that how you believe war is? If you do, then you should turn in your headband and clean your house like the slave you are, cause you're not gonna fit into ninja life. Because Mr. So-called Hyuga Prodigy, let me tell you something surprising. In war, your enemies don't stop for you to regain your chakra. They will kill you if you show even the slightest of weakness. If you're a man, you're lucky you will get death, but if you're a good looking kunoichi, or even any type of kunoichi, ninjas will take you to have some fun. Which is, Neji, I know that you're too young to know this, a fate far worse than death. Most of them that return are mentally and physically broken, but they're also broken in other ways that you're too young to understand, Naruto says. But I guess I'll amuse you. You're one free shot, Naruto says. You injure me like this and you think that's fair? Asked Neji. You know what, you joke? Since I'm feeling nice, Neji, you may get yourself healed up, Naruto says, as the doctor obliges and calls some medical. Well then everyone, please wait for Neji Hyuga to be completely healed, doctor says, as everybody from villages, including the Leaf Village, start to laugh at Hyuga, saying that they were jokes. Hanabi, please don't copy Neji in the future, because in other exams, something like this will not happen. We should be happy that Naruto was merciful, Sashi says, unable to look around as people were pointing at him and laughing. This Hyuga boy is too arrogant, said Oniki. Why do you have someone like him in your forces? Someone with an ego like that should have no place in the battlefield, A said. I've tried to have the boy sensei try and fix his attitude, but it's a clan matter, so I can't interfere, Bruiser said, glaring at the Hyuga clan, thinking about how he would execute the elders in the stands. His attitude won't let him reach far, Mai said. I mean, that is true, because in canon freaking all he ended up was in the grave anyways. But still, the blonde boy is reckless. If I guess right, the Hyuga will probably use his clan's Jukin strike to take him down, and even one strike is fatal, said A. Until now, Naruto has been full of surprises. I'm sure that we'll be able to see another surprise after this, the Kazekage says. Come on Hyuga, strike anywhere you wish to. Just don't molest me and I'll be fine with that. Naruto says as soon as he fully healed, Neji returned. Neji used the 64 palms as Naruto looked around and says, is that all? Are you done? Because I'm not phased at all. I must have missed somewhere. Very well. Then I'll just do it again, Neji said, flaring up his Bakugan and striking Naruto again. He just stood there. You sure you hit the right places this time, because that just feels like tickles? Naruto says, unknown to them, Naruto had reinforced his chakra points with chakra, so that every time Neji tried to redirect chakra into Naruto's chakra points, trying to seal them off, Neji's chakra will be reflected back. So, are you done? I guess the Hyugas are a disappointment, Naruto says. Father, how is that boy able to survive our clan jutsu? Hanabi said, but Zashias ignored her. At the boot, they said, okay, that's it, after this exams I'm recruiting him. What, but he belongs to Konoha or Leaf, said Jiraiya. Not anymore, remember, he resigned, so he's fair game, said A. I agree, but you won't beat me to it, right Kage, said Oniki. I won't give up either. Even if I can't have his body, I can still get him if I play my cards right, for Kazekage, aka Orochimaru. Kiri won't give up either, I said, talking about how the mist will get Naruto in their village. I guess it's my turn to attack, Naruto says, as Neji begins to panic and uses Kaiten. That's right, this is the ultimate defense. You can't get near me at all, dead last, says Neji, thinking he will win. Your stupid clan sure likes to use the word ultimate. Let me tell you what's truly the ultimate defense. Even though I hate the Uchiha clan, I have to admit that in terms of chakra, they truly have the ultimate defense. It is known as the Susanoo, you retard. The Hyuga is nothing special. I mean, your Bakugan eyes are like average. You call yourself users of the so-called Bakugan one of the 3 great dojutsus, but guess what? It's not even one of the 3 great dojutsus. In my opinion, there's only 2 great dojutsus, and that's the Sharingan, unfortunately, and the Rinnegan. The Bakugan, all it gives you is the ability to see through walls and the ability to have 360 degrees vision. But if someone was going to use it like you, Neji, and the rest of the Hyugas, then there's no point in having it. Because You don't even use it for anything good. All you use it is to strike chakra points. You're a disgrace to Hamura Sasuke. Naruto says as Neji falls to the ground, grabbing his throat and gasping for air, while everyone in the crowd shouted, "Whoa Neji, let me tell you something. My control over wind is so great that I've removed oxygen from the air, forcing you to submit," Naruto says as he steps on Neji's head. "This is the place of the Hyugas and the Uchihas and the Senjus compared to the Uzumakis," Naruto yells. "Weak," Naruto says in a disgusted tone as he kicks Neji onto the medic's bed as Naruto walks away as the proctor declares him the winner. At the stand, "Wow, even the great Kaiten was no match for him. This kid is full of surprises. Indeed, I'm now curious to what he can do next," said Oniki. "What strength. To think I was able to write him off as the dead last before for Orochimaru." Naruto returned to the stands as everyone, and I mean everyone, made a way for him. They really loved oxygen and he did not want to lose that. As he walked past Sakura, Ino and rookies, he thought that he would come to them, but he walked up to Yuno as they kissed each other, making everyone's jaw drop as the demon had got a girlfriend. Danzo thought about using her, but as soon as he thought that, he collapsed to the ground, unable to breathe. "So the Jinchuriki sent me a warning. Rego, I shall heed this. But if I see any signs of weakness, Jinchuriki, I shall exploit it," Danzo thought, not knowing that Yuno is a goddess and can easily dispatch with him, which means he has no threats in the elemental nations. At the Kage booth, A says, "He truly is a making of a strong warrior. Indeed, it's quite a shame that you lose such a talent, the Kage," Oniki says. "As much as it pains me," Ruzan says, faking sadness, "he would have the demon executed before he could leave the village. I wonder what else he can do at the next match," Mai asks. "True, but I'm sure the guests will be even more excited for the next fight," the Kazakage says as he motions towards Sasuke vs Gaara match. "By the way, has he arrived yet?" "No, he hasn't," Ruzan says. "Disqualify him then. If he can't make it to the training exams in time, what's to say he can make it to war in time?" he says as he sent his guard to speak with the nation's lords. Then the ninjas come back to the Hokage and the proctor and they give them the orders that were given by the lords. By orders of the lords of the nations, Sasuke Uchiha is hereby disqualified and will not be allowed to rank up to Chunin until the next year. Hopefully this shows him that he's not special and that he is just a regular shinobi in the eyes of the lords. The proctor reads "No" out loud. The rest of the fights went to canon. Naruto, Uzumaki of Whirlpool and Gaara of the Sun come to fight, the proctor says. Naruto comes down in a blast of lightning and fire, while Gaara comes down in using sands. Suddenly, Kakashi and Sasuke appear as Kakashi then says, "Sorry, are we late?" "Yes, Sasuke is disqualified," said proctor, making the two look in shock. Kakashi was shocked because he thought that the lords were here to watch his #1 student fight. "What? I demand to have my match," Uchiha says. "Forget it, kid, you're late, you lose the match," the proctor says. "Then who's fighting Gaara now?" asks Kakashi. "Me, Hatake," Naruto says. "Naruto, what happened to you?" Kakashi asks. "Oh, so now you care. Too bad, because I don't feel like answering you," Naruto says. "Hope you'll give me my spot. You don't deserve this spot," Sasuke says, but Naruto ignores him. "Kakashi, get your student out of here. I have a match to ref," the proctor says. "I'm trying to, but Naruto's not listening," Kakashi says. "I mean Sasuke." "Kakashi, Naruto is no longer your student anymore," said the proctor annoyed. "What do you mean?" as the proctor ignored him as Kakashi went to Sakura, who told him everything. Sasuke charges at Naruto. He didn't leave with Kakashi, but fell to the ground gasping for air as slashes appeared all over his eyes as his Sharingans were destroyed and his body was levitated and thrown at Sakura as the kunai that Sasuke had in his hand was plunged into Sakura's thigh. As the civilians started to scream, "Monster, he killed the Uchiha, he destroyed our Sharingan," as Orochimaru in the Kage stands were getting angry but he couldn't show it. Gaara then grabs his head as he screams, "Don't worry, mother, his blood will be tasty." As the proctor starts the match, Gaara tries to use sand coughing on Naruto, but Naruto uses the wind barrier to repel the attack. Naruto then creates 1,000 wind slices on Gaara as Naruto yells out, "We are in my territory. I control the wind and the air, which is everywhere. You cannot beat me. You will die. Just die," Naruto says. As then he says, "Let's see what's stronger, my wind or your sand." "Senpai is so sexy when he gets like that," Yuno thought. as Gara starts to have multiple wind slices slice his actual skin, making him bleed. You made me bleed, mother will kill you, Gara says as sand starts to cover. Oh, so you're playing turtle now, Naruto says. Oi, this is bad, Tamari. He's about to transform, Kankuro says. Damn it, Gara, have you truly forgotten about the plan? Tamari says. Okay then, there's one thing to do, Naruto says as he opens up his scroll. Many wonders what he's about to do, but they see him bring out a bag of popcorn and starts eating it, making everyone wonder if he truly is insane. But Yuno had a different reaction. Senpai is so amazing. To let this weirdo use his full power shows how compassionate he truly is. Aren't you gonna do something? Proctor asks. Well, if he wants to go full power, then let him. It won't be fun otherwise, Naruto says insanely. At the Kage's boot, Hiruzen facepalmed at Naruto's action as right now he was still representing Leaf and he was making Leaf look like insane lunatics. As Oniki says, well, this is quite the comedy show down there. This Genin truly knows how to liven shit up. I'm sure he's just refilling his stamina. My fault. She feels killing intent coming from the pink-haired girl that was with Naruto. This guy is quite the goofball, but he's nice looking as well, Kurosuchi said. I seriously don't need another D in the world, says A while facepalming. B has rapped about how cool Naruto is, while Yuki wonders if he could just perform suicide to escape his torture cell. The dome then broke as Shikaku shouted, "Oh yeah, I'm free! And look at that, a village just waiting for me to destroy," said Shikaku. Hey, you do know it's rude to ignore others, Naruto says. Huh, a human? Shikaku says, looking down on Naruto. Oh, looky here, it seems we found our first victim. Shikaku then gathers sands and attacks Naruto, but Naruto uses his wind control, blowing the sand away. Shikaku, you do realize who's in here, right? And you think it's a good idea to go rampaging in his territory? Asked Naruto. Kurama was sealed into a weak human. He's no threat to me, why should I be scared? Asked Shikaku. Oh then, how would you like to say that face to face? Naruto says, with an insane smile, making everyone get confused. As Naruto yells, Kurama, I summon you, as red chakra starts taking form of the Nine Tails. Kurama then says, grinning madly, hello Shikaku, it's been a long time, hasn't it? Kurama? Shikaku yells out terrified. He was not the only one that was terrified, as the old generation starts to panic saying, we're doomed, the Nine Tails back. He summoned the Nine Tails. Why would he do this? How in the bloody world can he summon the bloody Nine Tails? Dryer shout. Never mind that, Dryer. We need to make sure that everybody is evacuated. Hiruzen says. But then Kurama then says, stop getting worried, Kages. My master Naruto orders me to fight the One Tails only. I won't touch you unless he wills it, Kurama says. As all the ninjas turn to Naruto, as they never thought that they would see the dead lost like him be the master of the Nine Tails, fear reincarnated. You accepted a weak human like him as your master? Oh, how have the mighty have fallen, said Shikaku, laughing. That's why you're at the bottom of the chain of the nine of us. You can't see his true power at all and just assumed he's just a normal human, said Kurama. Hiruzen looked down at Naruto as if he was studying him, trying to find out what Naruto was to be able to make the Nine Tails submit to him. Just what kind of jutsus did he hide? Wait, so you mean that human is stronger than you? Shikaku asked surprised. Ha 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 ha. You have no idea, Shikaku. You have no idea at all. Kurama said, making the Leaf villagers get scared. If they were true, then the demon might come after them for revenge. Well then, Shikaku, it's been a long time since I've been free. And look, my favorite punching bag is here. How nice of you, Kurama. Shikaku then sends a lot of wind bullets, but Kurama wasn't affected at all. He then blasted Bijudama at Kurama, who just reflected it with his own, sending it towards the Uchiha, Hirano and Hyuga compound, blowing that shit up. Now then, it's fun time, Kurama says as he starts to punch and kick Shikaku repetitively. The stand couldn't help but feel sorry for Shikaku, who was becoming the punching bag of the Nine Tails. Alright Kurama, that's enough, I still need him to forfeit after this. As Gara forfeited since Shikaku was knocked out. Winner Naruto, the proctor says with fear. As Naruto jumped on Kurama's head, they made their way back to the stands as Yuno jumped on Naruto and both Naruto and Yuno embraced on Kurama's head. As Kurama then said something about, "Aye, stop making out on me." Okay Kurama, you did good. Now as a reward, you may kill the civilian council, Naruto says, as they start to beg for Naruto to spare them, but were ripped to shreds by Kurama's claw. No, you killed my mother, Sakura yelled, trying to punch Naruto, but Yuno grabbed her hair and started to punch her on the head repeatedly, making her bleed. At the Kage boot, Aiden says, I never thought I would be able to see someone command the nine tails like that. Neither did I. How do you do that, Hokage? Anaki asked. To be honest, I'm just as confused as you. All of this is new to me, Uruza said. Well, I'm truly glad to be able to see such a match, Mai said. Indeed, Kazekage said. Damn it, without Gaara, this invasion as good as failed, he thought to himself. But still, that means the next matches won't be as interesting, they will just be boring, he said. What do you mean, Raikage? Mai says. You saw what he could do, and the only participant left are Aburumi and the Tsunago, none of which are close to Shukaku's level. That means that Brat Naruto has won the exam with no competition, he said. I have to agree on it, he said. I wish to forfeit. Even if I win, I have no chance against Naruto, Shino says. Me too, Tamari says. As a boom is then heard in the Kage route, as shinobi start to attack the Leaf Shinobis. But everything freezes as Orochimaru is teleported in front of Naruto. Wait right there, Orochimaru. I have no desire to protect the shitty-ass village, but I can't forgive you for experimenting on a fellow Uzumaki clansman. You know her, Karen Uzumaki, Naruto yells with anger. So let's consider this a game of survival. If you manage to entertain me for long, I will let you live, but if you don't, you will die, Naruto. Yuno then appears next to Naruto's side. So you're Orochimaru, who's obsessed in immortality. You're gonna lose to my senpai, my love, the man who holds my heart. Yuno says, talking about Naruto. Alright, but first, how about we have a reunion? Orochimaru says as he summons the dead Hokage and Kushina Uzumaki. Son, Kushina and Minato says, shocking the Leaf Village as they start to regret their option. Lies, civilians were screaming. It's a genjutsu, with Sakura being the loudest. Naruto playing stupid says, so you're my father. The villagers said that my father was a stupid drunk while my mother was a whore. Naruto told his father as he got angry and he sent killing intent towards the villagers, making them feel fear. Okay, I believe this reunion is enough. Kill him now, Orochimaru says. Yuno take care of Naruto's mom and dad, while Naruto take care of the rest. Yuno rushes at Kushina with an axe slicing her head off clean, as no one could see her move. As Minato charges at her with a flying Thunder God, but Yuno's own speed was faster than flying Thunder God as she kicked him to the ground, and then she pulls out a katana slicing his head off. Both of them came back as she pulled out her RPG and blew them up, but then they returned once again, so she pulled out her AK-47 and started to fire every time they reanimated. Everyone was shocked at this display Naruto's girlfriends had. The skill she had that made even the fourth Hokage and the Red Death herself look like Genin, like jokes, was an amazing display. Danzo thought about trying to get her in his arms with the Jinchuriki, but then he was suddenly shot dead by a bullet that came from Yuno. I know what you're thinking, you old man. Enjoy death's sweet embrace, she says, with her eyes flaring up as she had an insane look in her face, as she then started to fire at Kushina and Minato. Naruto, in the meantime, was charging at Hashirama, dodging the trees that were trying to wrap around him as he punched Hashirama in the head, punching his head off clean. He then saw a water dragon coming towards him. Naruto used his wind control to remove the oxygen from the water, forcing it to evaporate, as he did the same thing to Hashirama's wood, forcing it to decay. Orochimaru backed up in fear as Naruto came up to him. Naruto flashed in front of him. His eyes were red as he kicked Orochimaru into the wall, and then he started to punch Orochimaru, making him bleed over and over. Suddenly, a black smoke appeared and took the form of the Shinigami. Shinigami-sama, what are you doing here? Minato says. I am here to check on something. First was, your seal was tampered somehow, so the nine tails is free, Shinigami says. Second is why you, my servant by a contract, is being pulled here without my consent, Minato, Shinigami says. I'm sorry, Shinigami-sama, but Orochimaru summoned me by Edo Tensei, Minato says as Orochimaru cowered at the glare of the Shinigami. Grr, that wretched jutsu of the second Hokage. I warned him the first time he used it to make sure that he destroyed trace of it, every little trace of it, but he couldn't even do that right. Okay, mortals, listen up. Anyone who dares to use this jutsu ever again will suffer, Shinigami says. But then Shinigami looks towards Naruto and Yuno. But my third reason is more important than the other two. I want to ask, what are you to do? God and goddess of time, my master and mistress, Naruto Uzumaki and Yuno Uzumaki, Shinigami says. Dead silence was across the village. God of space and time? Minato asked as he looked towards Naruto. You don't know that your own son and his mate is the god and goddess, space and time, the true creators of this world and every world, all of existence, Minato, Shinigami asked. Shinigami was shocked that his servant never knew. Shinigami-sama, can you explain what you mean by that? Hiruzen says, are you that blind? The god of space and time is the highest ranking god. To achieve that title, you have to be the true god that created all. Shinigami says, wait, are you saying? Asked Kushina Uzumaki but was cut off. Yes, Kushina Uzumaki, your son is the creator of all, along with his mate, Yuno, Shinigami says. Eh? Everyone shouted. Everyone looked at Naruto and Yuno in fear. I have one warning. Stay the hell away from him. A god slayer is someone you do not want to cross or anger. He can reach out of existence anytime, says Guki. Troublesome. Shikamaru says, wow, a god of space and time, how am I supposed to stop that wide available people? Kiba says, Sasuke the retard Uchiha clenched his fist in anger and fear. Anger that Naruto has the power that he craves, but fear that he could be erased by Naruto any time. Sakura the bitch looked at Naruto with fear as she remembers that if she angers him, she will get herself killed and there will be nothing that he can do about it. Okay, so I guess forcing him to join us is a no-go, right, Oniki? He says, of course not. Do you want to die? Right, Kage? Oniki says, Shinigami, you had to tell my twins the truth, didn't you? Naruto says, playing around as if he didn't know. In fact, that he was the one that ordered Shinigami to tell them about his title. Sorry, my lord, if you want, you could just go back in time and just tell me to stop before I do tell them. Shinigami says, no, that'll be a bit boring. I mean, I like plot twists, Naruto says. Naruto then puts his hands on Orochimaru, removing his knowledge chakra. I'll keep my end of the deal. You did manage to entertain me for a bit, so I won't kill you, but I will take away your knowledge and your chakra. As then all the Edo tendencies start to disappear apart from Naruto and Kushina, who come back to life. Mother and father, I've granted you back your life so you can live in this world no matter how short it will be. Since when I get bored of this world, it will end, Naruto says, making everybody get afraid. Senpai's right. So far this world's been so annoying, Yuno says. We now skip a few hours. Right now, we see Hiruzen with the Elder Council, apart from Danzo who was killed by Yuno. As in front of the council was Naruto, Yuno and his parents. Naruto, we refuse to let you leave, the two elders say, as Naruto pulls out his Glock and shoots them in the head, ending them. Anybody else wants to deny me, Naruto says, as none of the council said anything. We now see Sakura walking down the street with Ino talking, and was about to get into conversation about Uchiha when Yuno appears for them with great speed and she shoots Ino. What are you doing? You killed her! Sakura yells out, trying to run, but an invisible force appeared around her, stopping her. You hurt my senpai multiple times. Now you will pay, she said, pistol whipping her and taking her to a room she created. Sakura woke up in an unknown room. So you're the bitch that always hurt my senpai. You shall pay, Yuno says. We now see Sakura strapped onto a chair, her feet cuffed to the chair as well, so she can't escape. As Yuno grabbed a baby centipede and put it in Sakura's ear, as Sakura screamed in pain, having a poisonous centipede crawl around her brain. Every time she was near death, she was healed by Yuno. Please stop, I beg you, Sakura yelled. Yuno then grabbed a wrench and hit her kneecaps as Sakura screamed out, please leave me alone, I'll do anything, just leave me alone, Sakura yelled. You hurt my senpai. Your pain is nothing compared to what he went through, you bitch, Yuno yells out. Yuno then proceeds to rip off her nail one by one. As she repeated the process multiple times, she was healed. This torture lasted for a month. Throughout the month, Sakura was screaming stuff like, please, I beg you, let me go. I made a mistake, I will never do that again. I'll give you anything, I'll even kill Sasuke. But words fell dead on Yuno as she has continued to torture her. The next month, Yuno decided to switch up the torture. She changed the landscape into a swamp as boats appeared and sunlight was exposed to them as Sakura was tied between the boats. Sakura was then forced to swallow milk and honey as the mixture dropped everywhere, all over her face, all over her exposed parts, her hands, her legs, as this attracted insects and vermin, flies, rats and wild animals that started to attack Sakura, eating her alive. But every time she was near death, she was healed. As this process was repeated for a whole month. Please, I beg you, let me go. Haven't you done enough? Sakura yelled. Don't worry, I will let you go. But my senpai's pain hasn't been avenged yet. You must pay your debt in full. Before dying, Yuno says, insanely. Please, I beg you, if you're human, no more, Sakura says, as another rat bit her leg off. a bit of her leg off, and insects were eating her face. These insects really are improving your face, but in case you haven't noticed, I'm not a human, I'm a goddess, Yuno says. I'll do anything for you to stop, I beg you. I'll even suck off Naruto, she says. Yuno ignored her, and she got angry. You dare claim that my mate will be happy with you? She says, as Sakura's torture got even worse. The next month, Yuno had grown tired of torturing her using that method. So Yuno had tied Sakura horizontally above bamboo, so it was like she was lying down on bamboo, as she used her ability to make it grow. And since when bamboo grow, it can go through anything, like it can even go through concrete, the bamboos grew through Sakura's body, slowly ripping her cells, as Sakura started to scream out in pain. Please stop, I beg you, this hurts. But the torture didn't end there, as Yuno grabbed Pepper and started to squeeze the liquid onto Sakura's exposed wounds. Ah, it hurts. Stop, please, just kill me, I beg you, just stop, just kill me. Sakura yelled out as Yuno started to laugh. Tell me, do you regret hurting my senpai now? Yuno said, as Sakura never answered, as Yuno poured more pepper juice on Sakura, making her speak. Yes, I do, please let me go, Sakura says, as Yuno poured more and more. Don't lie to me, bitch, I can sense your lies, Yuno says. Fine, I don't, he deserves it for showing my Sasuke cannot, Sakura was about to say, but was healed before having more bamboos plunged into her as Yuno started laughing more and more. After a month, Yuno had enough, so she summoned some orcs to have some fun with Sakura. You know, an orc doesn't stop even if the woman's broken. Naruto and Yuno then teleported everyone to the Leaf Village, everyone from the Elemental Nations, as Leaf citizens saw a broken Sakura who had a white sticky substance from her. That sticky substance was from the orcs. People of the Elemental Nations, as you've heard, I am the god of space and time, while my future wife is the goddess of space and time. Now you might be wondering why I, a god, have summoned you all over here and gathered you around here. Well, let me tell you, I've grown bored of this world, so I'm destroying it. Notice as both he and Yuno hold hands, and everybody let out a huge roar of pain as they exploded, as well as everything exploded. But guys, that's all for this series. Hope you enjoyed it. This was my first movie ever. Please give me some feedback, because tell me if it was rushed, tell me if it was like okay like this, and tell me how I can improve this. Anyways, that's all. Peace. But guys, that's all for today. Peace.